it is a great pleasure to be covering this part of our session this morning. And thinking back to the kind of problems that we outlined that relate to mentoring, and one of them was that mentoring was quite inconsistent in our clubs, and there were quite a number of challenges that came with mentoring. The amount of time that people felt was too much time commitment required from them. And in this presentation of mine this morning, I would like us to tackle how we can overcome these challenges as club leaders and also as district leaders, how we can go about creating a consistent mentoring experience at our clubs. And the ways that we can go about doing this is, first of all, by leveraging the Pathways Mentor Program. This morning, I want to give you a new perspective about the Pathways Mentor Program and how it is the solution to some of the problems that we experience as mentors at our club and also as leaders at our club when it comes to mentoring. The next thing I want to talk about is how, as district leaders and especially as Vice President of Education, we can keep the mentoring program in our clubs robust. We can keep it active and effective throughout our term. And finally, I'll conclude by talking about the different kinds of support that you can expect from the PQD docket of this program here relating to mentoring. But before I go into the first segment, which is Pathways Mentoring Program, I will ask the SAA to launch the poll to help us understand how many of us have completed level 2 and how many of us have gotten into the Pathways Mentor Program. Do you even know what the Pathways Mentor Program is? So I'll give us 30 seconds to fill in, 45 seconds. I think that is adequate time for us to fill in the poll and to get your perspectives on this.
Okay, we are at 81%. Should I stop the poll?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have 40 or 48 who have filled.
Right, and it's very interesting. About 60% of us have completed level 2. And I think the worrying part is 60% of us have not embarked on the Pathways Mentoring Program. About 30% of us have never heard of what it is, and only 10% of us have completed it. 30% of us are in the course of going through this program. And I would like to ask those of us who are currently going through the program and who have completed it, what has been your experience so far with that program? Have you learned anything new from it? What has it been like for you? Anybody who has completed it or is currently going through it?
Yeah, Christine here. It has very useful resources.
Yes.
And it is structured, so it is a ready resource that is available, makes you go through processes step by step, and is actually helpful in terms of helping both the mentor and the mentee have commitments as they go along with the goals. So it's a very priceless resource, adds value.
Absolutely, Christine. It is an amazing resource, and the first time I went through it, I was absolutely struck by how amazing mentoring can be at our clubs, and how little of the benefits of mentoring that we have been experiencing as club members. I'll just read one response from the chat, which is from Terry. Division Director Terry says that it has brought great structure to mentoring engagement and also been a great self-evaluation tool for both mentors and mentees. Absolutely. So let me just give us a quick overview of what the Pathways Mentoring Program is for those of us who have not heard about it, and also for those of us who are currently going through it, to help us get more out of the experience. The first step when it comes to mentoring in Pathways is the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring, which is done at the end of level 2. And have you ever wondered why it is you're meant to be talking about being a protege while it is coming at the end of level 2? Has anybody ever thought about it? If they're teaching you how to be a great protege, why doesn't it come at the very beginning of level 1? And my own perspective of this is that it's meant to inspire a future mentor. It's meant to help you think about the time that you had been mentored. And after you've taken time to write that speech and you deliver it, you feel quite inspired. And it is at that point that the VPE should come to you and ask you, you've received all these benefits from being mentored by someone in your past. Why don't you give the same benefits to someone in Toastmasters? And as VPEs and as leaders in our club, I think that is a great opportunity for us to target people who can mentor others in future. It will help us overcome that problem that we sometimes have of not having enough mentors, or of having people who are not willing to mentor others. I am currently writing this speech for the 5th time. I'm delivering it for my fifth path. And every time I have gone through this speech, I've been inspired. I keep getting inspired by the people who have helped me over the years. And from that inspiration, it helps me become a better mentor to the people who are assigned to me. Therefore, that is the first step as VPEs and leaders. We need to take advantage of this project, target the person who has immediately completed it, and rope them into becoming a mentor. After you've gone through after you've completed your level 2 and it has been approved, in 24 hours, you're going to get a new program added to the suggested learning section of your base camp. When you click on it, it's going to take you to the Pathways Mentoring Program, and you can choose to open that curriculum and get started on it. And when you go into it, it looks like a typical level in Pathways, and they are pretty much the same projects. It takes pretty much the same format of projects that you will do in other levels in Pathways. Once you're done with this program, designation of being a Pathways mentor is going to be added to your profile, that people who view it in your club can see that you have received this accomplishment. So let us go through the 3 projects that make up the Pathways Mentoring Program. The first one is the Prepare to Mentor. And maybe before I share my own experience, I'll ask someone who has completed this project. What did you find useful from this project, Prepare to Mentor? Anybody has any thoughts? While you're thinking about it, the thing that I found most useful from this project, it helped me understand the value that I was bringing to a protege. From going through the self-assessment that I found in this project, I learned that there are strengths that I have that I can contribute to a mentee. I am not ashamed to say this, and I'm not ashamed of bragging about this, but I think I am one of the best people when it comes to structuring a speech. I can actually tell you the 7 components of a perfectly written introduction to your speech. And therefore, when I'm giving someone to mentor a new member, I know that I need to introduce them to the Toastmasters program, and then I teach them what I'm good at, which is structuring a speech. If they want to deliver a speech where they dance the Ndombolo, I'm going to send them to Dorcas Soita of ANCAT or send them to the CGD. Eric, I think that is one of their strengths. They might be able to teach them to do that better than I can do. And therefore, this is an important project for the mentor because it helps them think about what are you bringing to this relationship with a mentee? What are your strengths? You focus on delivering those benefits to the mentor, and when the mentee, and when they need something else, you can direct them to someone else who is strong in those other areas. Then you come to the mentoring project, which is the second one in the Pathways Mentoring Program. Anybody has any experience from this one? Before I again share my own. In this project, you are meant to help the protege create a success plan. The protege create a success plan, and then also after a while, you need to do a self-evaluation. I find it to be particularly useful in the fact that your mentoring is not going to be ad hoc. It's not going to be just a random thing that you do. And when I think about this project, I think about some of these organizations that you might go to. For example, PricewaterhouseCoopers and other international organizations. I find that when you go to an organization like this, they are usually ready for you. They usually have a plan. After they've taken you through the interview, after they've seen your CV, after they've come to understand your strengths and your weaknesses, they create a plan for you on how you're going to be successful in their organization. And your time in those organizations is likely to be very, very productive compared to another organization where you go to and you're just thrown at a desk and set on your own devices. The importance of this second project, which is mentoring, is that it makes the mentee feel valued. It creates a path for them to follow while they're at Toastmasters. They think about the goals that they have. What brought them to Toastmasters? And you as a mentor are able to talk to them about how they are going to achieve these goals as Toastmasters. And I think it is an important one in retaining our members because it will ensure that they get the benefits that brought them to Toastmasters. Then the final one is advanced mentoring. And the importance of this project, I think, is that you're required to do a monthly report of your mentoring experience. You're required to do a monthly report of your mentoring experience, and therefore mentors do not sleep on the job. You have a plan on what you're going to be doing with your mentor over the next 1 month. And if the mentee is not responsive, you can have a conversation with the leaders of your club to make sure that either they assign someone else who can connect with them better, or they can be advised to change their approach. And therefore, each of these projects that come from the mentoring program has great benefits to you as a mentor, to you as a protege, and also to the club. And it is important for us as club leaders to ensure that we push this program. I see a question in the chat on whether this is a mandatory program. It is not a mandatory program. However, from the benefits that you can see, it is important for you as a leader to ensure that every time someone is mentoring a person in your club, they are doing it while going through this program. Yes, you can choose to do it or not to do it, but as leaders, it is our responsibility to make sure that mentors are properly trained. And this program has been put in place to ensure that the mentors are getting that proper training. Therefore, to wrap up, the mentor program is there to give us the tools and the trainings to be effective mentors for other members. This program is free. The program, you don't need to pay the $20 that you need to pay to get an extra path. Therefore, it involves nothing, no cost other than the time that you're going to devote to going through this program. I hope those who have not heard of Pathways will not say that again. And I hope those who have not started on this and you're mentoring someone at this moment, it is, I don't want to be ashamed, but it is very irresponsible for you to continue mentoring that person without signing up for this program. Therefore, if you've completed level 2, you're mentoring someone, make sure that you get onto this program immediately. Then we're going to go to the second segment of my presentation, which will be learning how to manage the mentoring in your club as a vice president of education or a president or anybody who has been given that responsibility. I see a question, how can we access the page? Very well, I'll briefly do a recap. Once you complete level 2, 24 hours later, at the very bottom of your base camp, there's a section called suggested learning. It is going to be right there. Simply click on the link and then follow the prompts that are going to come after that.